organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Here's what's just said tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Wages are rising here at the University of Iowa. We'll give you the details next.
In Clothes for a Cause, find out what donations are doing for one local organization.
Things get interesting in sports tonight. We'll talk mustaches with Iowa cross country and track long distance runner Michael Hart.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Roberts.
And I'm Katie Sextro. A community meeting was held Tuesday night in Van Allen Hall to discuss concerns over new University of Iowa President Bruce Harold. Faculty, staff, graduate, and undergraduate students were present to talk about these issues. A few undergraduate students led the meeting and gave some background on how they believe Harold was hired. The floor was opened up for questions and comments, and then two guests from the University of Missouri-Columbia spoke on their experiences. Bruce Harold was invited to attend this meeting, but was not present.
There's good news for student employees here on campus. The UI just upped student wages to $8.20 an hour. Daily Iowan TV's Alara Bartlett will give you the details on the raise and tell you why this might not affect as many people as you would think.
As of November 1st, the University of Iowa brought the minimum wage up from $7.25 an hour to $8.20, a move that the university made to, quote, remain competitive as we recruit and retain student employees. The 95-cent pay raise has benefited 655 UI student employees and 35 temporary employees, but has had no other salary impact for the university's remaining workforce of 23,000. Journalism Resource Center student employee Kate Swanson was one of the 23,000 university employees who saw no change in income.
It's just always been $8.25, I think, here. I haven't worked here that long, but it's just stated that.
For students like Cade, their wage was already at or above the new university minimum, so they saw no increase in pay. The growth in minimum wage is part of a gradual shift taking place throughout Johnson County. The goal of the Johnson County Board of Supervisors is to raise the minimum wage to $10.10 by 2017. Whether or not the university will go along with this increase is still to be determined. But the November 1st pay raise was one of several scheduled incremental bumps that could possibly bring up the minimum even more. Reporting from the Adler Journalism Building, this is Alara Bartlett for Daily Iowan TV.
The University of Iowa Police Department is hoping to see more students at the Rape Aggression Defense class. This class provides information on sexual assault and prevention techniques. Although this program has been provided since 1993, not all students know it's there. The class is currently open for registration and lasts for 4 days. Participants are charged a $20 fee, and registration can be done via phone or online. Anne
Frank is a name many have heard before. A lot of students read her diary in high school. But starting next semester, the German department at the University of Iowa will be introducing a new course, Anne Frank and Her Story. This course will analyze the diary of Anne Frank, its media adaptations, and related materials. The hope is that in a few years, it will be included in the Gen Ed curriculum. The University of Michigan, has a course similar to the Anne Frank class. Russell Geenum said this course is one students should consider taking. This course is currently open for registration.
Transgender Awareness Week is upon us here at the University of Iowa, and events are planned for the rest of the week. In an effort to educate students across campus, Wednesday night there is an educational workshop event at the IMU, and the week will conclude with a vigil on Thursday and a potluck on Friday. The Trans Alliance group on campus hopes to educate people with only a basic understanding of trans identities and recognize those who lost their lives to anti-trans violence.
There's controversy brewing over Caitlyn Jenner's Woman of the Year award. Caitlyn, formerly known as Bruce, came out as transgender, earlier this year and subsequently underwent a gender transformation. Mariah Smith, a police officer who died while leading over 100 people from the World Trade Center on 9/11, won this same award in 2001. Her husband vowed to return her award after hearing of Caitlyn Jenner's recognition.
You know, Andrew, I'm pretty tired of this rain, but did you hear how cold it's supposed to be this weekend?
I did hear it is supposed to be pretty cold. Let's hear more about it from F.A. Toss it over in the weather studio. F.A., what do you got for us?
Hi guys, it's been pretty wet this past few days, and unfortunately it's not going to get any better as we anticipate snow in a few days. Thursday will start out with temperatures at a cool 33 degrees. As the day progresses, temperatures will rise to a slightly warmer 42 degrees with partly cloudy skies. By evening, temperatures will drop to 36 degrees. As for the rest of the week, Iowa City should expect the first snow of the season this Friday with a 50% chance of precipitation, so definitely get those winter coats ready. Football fans who will be around this weekend to cheer on the Hawks expect temperatures to be pretty cold. This cold weather will carry on throughout the rest of the weekend and into early next week. That's all I have here at the studio. Back to you at the desk.
As we start to get into the colder months of the year, it becomes more and more important to have warm clothes. One local charity is making sure low-income teens are stocking up on warm clothes with their annual winter clothing drive. Austin Love has more.
A shopping spree for free is what the Iowa City United Action for Youth offers at their winter clothing drive.
Everybody gets a chance to try on lots of different clothes. It's kind of like shopping without the damage.
In only its 5th year, the clothing drive has only gotten bigger in size and the number of items that they offer.
There's a lot of places that collect coats and do regular winter clothing drives, but they don't really focus on the other needs that a person might have. We wanted to kind of fill that niche and be able to provide everything on top of winter wear for teens in need.
Here at the UAY Clothes Drive, you can have your pick at just about any kind of clothes item you want, from gloves and hats to winter clothes and jeans, all to make sure that these teens stay warm in the winter.
So here's your hat.
As important as it is to stay warm, it's also just as important to flash some style. Something that 7th grader Avery Clark showed off to me.
It was funny looking, and I thought it'd be fun to wear at school and show my friends that I have a weird looking hat.
And looking ahead to Christmas morning,
Yeah, we're not doing presents this year.
Hey!
he's just kidding, Avery, but it'll allow her father, Brian, to have a little more in the bank come the holidays.
So it really is an opportunity to create some flexible room in the budget. You know, we have other kids, and so they grow fast. So finding, creative ways to make sure that they have everything they need. It's great. I love it.
In Iowa City,
Yeah, I got some pretty good stuff.
Austin Love, Daily Iowan TV.
Nearly a year after the attack, a white man with Nazi tattoos was arrested on a federal hate crime charge. Randy Metcalf was arrested for allegedly stomping on the face of a black man at a Dubuque bar last winter. Metcalf pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer says the brawl was not racially motivated. An affidavit signed by an FBI agent says Metcalf is a white supremacist with a plethora of Nazi tattoos.
A family car crash resulted in 2 deaths Tuesday. A 14-year-old with her learner's permit was driving with her family on Interstate 80 near Newton, Iowa, Tuesday afternoon. The driver attempted to pass a semi-trailer and lost control of the car, rolling into a ditch. The driver and one other passenger were taken to the hospital. However, her mother and sister did not survive the crash.
You know, really sad news out of Iowa today.
Definitely my thoughts will be with the family. Switching gears into sports, Iowa coming in 5th for the 2nd week in a row in the college football rankings. Let's toss it over to the sports studio with Jordan and hear more about Hawkeye football.
Thanks, guys. Football talk continues on this Wednesday as college football rankings came out again on Tuesday night. The only thing changing this week was Oklahoma State grabbing the number 6 spot behind Iowa. The crew also discussed that Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, Iowa, and Oklahoma State are all in control of their own destinies in the next 3 weeks. Speaking of destinies, there's one cross-country and track member at Iowa that is in control of his own mustache destiny. According to Michael Hart, it's the power of the mustache. Mark Free has a story on this facial hair.
There is only one word that accurately describes Michael Hart's mustache.
Legendary.
After taking a closer look, Michael's teammate might be right.
It started my sophomore year of college at the inter-squad meet, first meet of the year, and I was still trying to earn my roster spot on the team, and it just was a side product of No Shave November, and I just went with the mustache for my first race, and I had good results, and I just stuck with it ever since.
Hart is in his 4th year on the Iowa track and cross country team. Even his coach encourages him to use his strength.
I'm not much of a mustache guy myself, but whatever motivates him. I mean, if that's where he gets his strength, then certainly more power to him.
Hart even uses his stash as part of the Movember movement to raise money and awareness about men's health.
You just donate money, and it's like a $10 buy-in, and then you get people to fundraise, obviously, with you. And if you shave early, it's a penalty fee.
Aside from growing a mustache, Michael majors in education at Iowa and traveled to Vietnam for a month last summer. Michael spent time teaching kids and learning about the Vietnamese culture.
It was just eye-opening, real humbling. You have to be grateful with everything we have here. I got a nice track behind me, and they're playing on dirt basketball courts. So it's very humbling, and just being able to grow that relationship with Vietnamese students that we weren't even able to talk to because of a language barrier, but you still grew these relationships and taught them lessons, and they taught you lessons at the same time without even knowing it.
The mustache was even a hit overseas.
They definitely acknowledged it. The Vietnamese children definitely acknowledged any facial hair from foreigners, and it's just unusual to them. They don't really see it in the same way we see mustaches here, but yeah, they like pulling on it and stuff like that, so it was fun.
Just a man, his mustache, and some adventures. Mark Fry, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Maybe some people should take Michael's heart on the mustache. It's definitely not going to be me, though. Now, as we know, Iowa athletics is full of family atmosphere, but for 2 athletes at Iowa, their family tie is much more than the team. Alec Giannakopoulos has more.
Any student can tell you that they've heard the phrase, once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye. But that can be taken seriously as a student, but also as a student athlete. In the case of Nick Bear and Molly Kelly, both grew up in a Hawkeye family and pretty much knew what school they'd go to. What they may not have known, though, is that they both would find themselves as student athletes. Nick plays for basketball, and Molly Kelly plays for the volleyball team. We took a look at both Nick and Molly to see what it's like to be not only a Hawkeye athlete, but to have a cousin in Hawkeye athletics at the same time.
I came here a year before Molly. Molly's my cousin out of West Liberty, and something that I always enjoy about Molly is just how genuine she is and genuinely excited she is to see me. But I mean, we've always been really good friends because we always have like family Christmases and family Thanksgivings together. When I think back on my childhood, Molly Kelly is definitely an integral part of that.
It's so fun to just be at Carver and see him in the weight room or in the hallway before practice. I have 4 other cousins here and then my 2 older sisters, so we'll have cousin pizza night like every Sunday night, so it's just fun things like that I get to do with my family every week.
Both Molly and Nick also heavily appreciate all the family support they see every day on campus.
They're my go-to for anything related to school, sports, anytime I need to get away, I go to them.
I didn't see myself going anywhere else, and neither did Molly, so it's just a lot of fun having family members here at the university and also in athletics.
It's safe to say that getting used to college can be a tricky thing, and maybe even harder when you're also an athlete. But I think both can say that it might be a little bit easier when done within the family. For Daily Iowan TV, this is Alec Giannakopoulos reporting to you from the Carver Hawkeye practice facility.
Molly, along with the rest of the volleyball team, play Wednesday night for their second-to-last home game of the season against Ohio State, while Nicholas and the men's basketball team travel to Marquette for their first road test on Thursday. One team is staying close to Iowa City, though, and that would be wrestling. After a success outside on Saturday at the Grapple on the Gridiron, they hope to continue inside Carver Hawkeye Arena on Friday.
Fans were complaining that our Iowa City duels weren't maybe as tough as maybe they wanted them, and so now we have a Big Ten opponent. And so now we bring in these schools to wrestle us in Carver Hawkeye Arena. They like the experience, and we've stuck with the same schools for quite a while now. It could maybe get ramped up with some of those other schools that want to come in and maybe share that experience a little bit more. But we're loyal too. We're loyal to the people that helped this thing get going in the first place.
That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news, sports, and weather. I'm Katie Sextro.
And I'm Andrew Roberts. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.